So I'm ready to work my heel gusset. And if you look at your pattern, you will see that you need to pick up a free needle and knit the remaining however many stitches that you have for your heel right here. So I've got 3 because I'm doing the smallest size. So I'm going to go ahead and knit these stitches. It's going to be a little fiddly. Things are going to be flopping around a little bit. And what we're doing is starting the process of joining in the round again. Okay, so in our directions, we're instructed to continue with the same needle and pick up, for me, the smallest size, I'm going to pick up 8 stitches along the side of the heel. Okay, and so you can see the side here, we have these nice slip stitches that we made when we were working our heel flap. And what I'm going to do is just sort of roll my fingers up so I can see these stitches clearly. Okay, and make sure you look on the other side too, because you want to make sure to get these stitches that are right along the edge. Okay, and I'm just going to look here and see where I want to pick up these stitches. If I pick up right here, I'm going to create a big hole right here in the corner. So I don't want to do that. So I think I'm going to start here. I go under both legs of that stitch right there, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up and knit 1. And then I'm going to continue along this edge. And you may want to count ahead. Sometimes you have to skip a stitch if you have one too many. Sometimes you don't have the exact number. So I'm going to continue. I have 2 now. And I'm going to go in this next one. 3, 4. And if you find that you're having trouble picking them up, if it's a little tight or you're not really comfortable, you can always use a crochet hook. Let me grab one here and show you how this works. So you can always put a crochet hook in and grab that loop, pull it through, and then put it on your needle. Okay. So let's see, how many more do I need? I've got my 3 heel stitches and I've picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, and I'm supposed to go into, I'm supposed to pick up actually 1 extra after the 8, and you'll see on the instructions below, below that first section on the heel gusset that you need to do that. So I'm actually going to go in right here. It's just a little hole right here, a little area where I can go in and pick up that last stitch. So that's 8. And then on the pattern, you skip down to the next section where it says pick up and knit 1 stitch from the row below the first instep stitch to prevent a hole. Okay, so what happens here is as we make this transition to needle 2, we really need to make sure we don't have a hole in our knitting. And if I go into this stitch right here, I'm going to end up with a pretty big hole. You can see, you can just kind of lift that up and see. So I'm going to have to get creative. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm actually going to go into this loop here. And then I'll go into this loop right here. It's not really a proper stitch, but, and this might be a little tough for me to get through. I may actually use my crochet hook for this. And you know, you can always experiment and undo if you need to. Let's see how this works out. put that on my needle, and you can see I don't have a hole. Make sure you look at these stitches that you picked up and be sure that you've picked them all up on the same in the same column, and you can see that by this nice clean edge here. Okay, so next I need to get a free needle and work across needle 2, and these are going to be my instep stitches. These are going to make the top of my foot as I knit along. So I'm just going to knit across these. And now I'm ready to pick up stitches on the other side of my heel flap here. To do that, I'm going to use a free needle, and just like on the other side, I'm going to pick up one stitch that I'm going to do this continental actually, where I won't have a hole. So I want to make sure that I pick up just a little past this corner here to close the hole. Now, it's not a big deal if you do get a hole. You can always close it up with a strand of yarn when you're finished with your sock, but it just saves a little time to work that stitch so that you don't have a hole, and then you're a little bit ahead of the game here. Okay, so I always like to sort of find this corner, lift up my needle, and I see that I need to go in probably about right here to get a stitch in the corner, but that's 3 loops, so I need to pick up 2. But if I pick up these 2, I end up with a hole. So I think what I'm going to do is put my needle in this loop, skip that other loop, and go in here, and just going to grab that. I still have a hole, don't I? Let me try this again. Okay, so let me take a look here. I think I'm going to, let's see, let me find where my ridge is, and I'm going to come back here, and maybe I'll pick up this loop here and this loop. Let me try that and see how that looks. It is a bit of experimentation with that stitch. So that does not leave me a hole. So I think I'm going to go with that. And then I need to pick up my 8 stitches along the edge here. I'm going to go ahead and count and see how many that I have, just in case I need to skip one. So let's see, I'll pick up a second one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I've got one more right here, so I might just go ahead and skip a stitch somewhere in the middle, and you don't see it with your gusset. So let me pick up this one, and this side I'm going to pick up continental for those continental knitters out there. 3, 4, I'll skip a stitch. 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 8 stitches? Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, and I need one more. I need 9 stitches total. So I'll go ahead and go right in here, get that last stitch, okay, and I'm going to look and see I have that nice ridge here. So I picked up all in the same column, which is what I want. And then I'm going to knit these remaining heel stitches right here. I just have these 3 left on my needle. So I'm going to go ahead and knit these. This one's a little tight. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now, so you can see I am now ready to, I am joined in the round now, so I can continue working on my sock. And I've got my little cuff here, my heel flap, my turned heel, and now we are ready to shape the gusset. So I will show you how to do that. And what I did is I put a clip right here for the my end of the round, beginning of the round, so I know where that begins. So according to my pattern, I'm going to do a decrease round, and for needle 1 I'm going to work to 3 stitches from the end, knit 2 together, and knit 1. And remember, on that second, getting ready for that second stitch, I just give it a little tug. Make sure that I don't get ladders between my needles. And I'm working to 3 stitches from the end. I'm going to knit 2 together and knit 1. Then I'm going to knit across my instep stitches. We're doing no decreases on this needle. So 1, I go on my second stitch, give this a little tug. And now I am to needle 3, and I'm going to knit 1, and then I'm going to do an SSK. So I'm doing a decrease at the very beginning of this needle. So slip 1 knitwise, slip the second one knitwise, take my left needle, put it in the front of both of those stitches on my left needle, and then I'm going to knit them together. That's knitting 2 through the back loop. Okay, and then I'm just going to knit to the end. Okay, so that is my decrease round, and for my second round I'm just going to knit all around my needles, and then I'm going to do another decrease round, and I'm going to knit these 2 rounds. I'll have a decrease round and then an all knit round until there are the designated number of stitches for your size remaining, and you can consult your pattern for that. And then from there you just continue working in the round until you get to shaping the toe.